didn't think people would find me that quick. All I'm doing really is a resilience test. So I'm not in the video, I probably won't move the camera much. Every time I've done a live broadcast in the past, it's lasted about 10 minutes and the stream has frozen. So the plan was to just leave the camera running. I might pick it up and move it about a bit, but the goal is to just see if the resilience is there. I've changed one element of the software, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. As I said, I'm not particularly in the video. You don't want to see me all scruffy like I am now. The plan is to just let it run, and you know, I've got a timer on it when it started. If it can get to half an hour without freezing, then I'll be happy to use it. And if it does, the plan is to put a notification up properly, not just appear out of nowhere, for tomorrow's Sunday chat. So instead of being a Sunday morning chat, it will be a Sunday live chat, and it won't be in the morning. That's the plan. But obviously people can see the video, so the notifications are working, the chat's working, the video's just sitting there doing nothing as planned. But I'm watching the I'm watching the comments at the moment because I've got nothing else to do. So hi to people, some people I know here. Typical Summer to be in there like a shot. Hello Summer. I wish it was summer here. I've had to wait for the rain to stop as usual. Good morning. Well, here it's what is it? It's about 1:15, so PM after lunch, which I've had. Hi Angie. Hi Carol. Hi Anna. Hi Paula. Oh God, can't go up much further. I'll lose my place. What else have we got? Hi EJS. Hi KM Zoo and people. Paula. So hi to people who've managed to find me. I am surprised. We look scruffy too. Yeah, you're not on camera. There is a difference. There's a level to which I will not stoop. And stood here in a scruffy t-shirt with a hole in and my dressing gown is not going on camera. Long Island, New York. That's good stuff. What's the time there? 8 o'clock AM. That's useful to know, because if it's 8 o'clock in the morning, most civilized people are up and out of bed. And then yet it's only 1:15 here. But I do have to bear in mind the States is rather a wide place, and there is a hell of a time zone change from East Coast to West Coast. And obviously if I'm going to do this for real, I'd like as many people in the States to be able to join in as possible. My only problem is I've got quite a few viewers down under, as I like to call it, and by getting a time right for the majority of my viewers, which are in the States, which is also a suitable time for many other places, the Far East and down under, Bobo's in bed because it's silly o'clock. So I can only do a balance, if you see what I mean. But I was planning on doing this about 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Well, I reckon I can pull that back a bit, which might include some of those down under. They might have to stay up a bit late. We shall see. Oh, blimey, there's time's flying in from all over the place now. Yes, I did get a notification, so it looks like things are working. Things are working okay. It's the resilience I'm after. As I say, last time I tried this, everything was working great, and after about 10 minutes, the whole thing just locked up. And I ended up talking to myself. That's nothing unusual, but you don't normally hear me talking to myself. So what have we got then? So you're an hour ahead in the Netherlands. Yeah, that's okay, because the UK's got its silly time adjustment, hasn't it? So in the Netherlands it's 2:15, whereas here it's 1:15. We play with our clocks twice a year, moving them forward and backwards, and loads of people forget, and it's such an easy thing to remember. You spring forward, you fall backwards. So how can you forget which way the clocks go? Bearing in mind they change in the spring and the fall. I do believe it's the winter equinox today, so Shortest amount of daylight. Strictly speaking, we always try and work out the day that is the winter equinox, when in actual fact it's the night. It's the longest night which sits between the two shortest days, which are only about 1 or 2 seconds different. So anyway, that's technical stuff. We don't need all that. Oh dear. Ellen says, I'm dressed all posh for me. It must be Christmas. Well, the last 2 Christmas do's, I did actually have a shirt and tie on. And I had a new Christmas tie because my daughter Hannah bought it for me. So there was no way I was going to get away with not wearing it. And the trouble is, when you never wear a tie, when you do, everybody loves to comment, don't they? Oh, you've got a tie on. Oh, never seen you in a tie before. Quite honestly, I'm not one that likes dressing up. I like slopping around, just casual, you know, jeans, t-shirts, floppy shirt. I don't like dressing up, like a stuffed shirt, which at Christmas I was. Are they going to quit the time change? Well, if you think about it, no, because it's a UK thing. So the fact that we're leaving the EU doesn't change that, does it? Probably emphasise it even more. Perhaps we'll do it 4 times a year just to make the point. I talk to my orchids. Is that the same thing as talking to yourself? Technically, yes. But the thing is, when you talk to yourself, you can actually answer yourself as well. Whereas if you talk to your plants, you don't get an answer. You have to make one up for them. Right, so it's 12:15 p.m. here in Melbourne. I should be asleep. Yes, you should. But then, now here it's Saturday, just after lunch. So what day is it in Australia then? If it's gone past that midnight point, are you now in Sunday, or still in Friday, or in Saturday? I don't know these things. They were considering ending that here. Don't know how serious they were. Daylight saving time. It goes back originally to the farming community mainly, because, well, they tend to work when it's daylight, and the daylight changes as the year goes on, as we know, and it was to do with them being able to get around and deal with their animals at civilised times. I think that's how it started. And it also affects, if it didn't change, a lot of kids would be going to school in the dark, which may not be the best of ideas. We shall see. Maybe it'll get stopped. Doesn't make any difference to me, quite honestly. I get up when I wake up and I'm ready, and I go to bed when I'm tired. Right, what else have we got in here? What am I doing? I wouldn't mind an answer if that person's still up in Australia. What day it is. If it's after midnight in Australia, what day is it? Wow, crazy. It's Sunday in other parts of the world. If you want to see that time zone roll, then you can see it soon. It's called New Year's Eve. The 12 o'clock midnight bit on New Year's Eve, where we change years, rolls across the world. So places like Australia have done their New Year celebrations, got their hangover and gone to bed. And here in the UK, we're still waiting for it. It rolls, and then America get it last. So, you know, that time zone's quite easy. Right, how long have I been going now? Still only about 5 or 10 minutes, isn't it? I suppose I could pick the camera up. The trouble is, it is wired, and it is a heavy-duty cable. If I pick it up, I won't be able to use it as well as I could normally, because it's not wired, obviously, because I'm just recording direct onto the camera, whereas now, God knows what's happening. The signal comes from the camera, it goes into a little gadget called a game capture, and that comes out of there and goes into a USB into the laptop, which then goes through 2 bits of software, which then gets streamed out to YouTube, which is yet another piece of software, and then goes out to the world. So, yeah, So there's a lot of bits and bobs included here, and it only needs one of them to hiccup and the whole thing will jam up. But the thing that's most likely to jam it up is moving pictures, because it'll really load the stream. Because at the moment, all that's going through is a still, in effect. Although it's a video camera, it's not moving. As soon as I start moving it, the amount of traffic going down the wire is going to dramatically increase. So we'll give that a go. Let's see what I can point the camera at then. Probably the tripod, because it's in the middle and right in the way. It's going to rattle around a bit till I get hold of it. But we'll see what we can do. Now, I've never done this before with a live broadcast. I've never moved the camera. I've always fixed the camera and moved me, because I'm a bit more mobile. Right, I can't even get my hand in the hand grip for the camera because the wire's in the way. Let's get the tripod out of the way. Don't you fall over. Thank you. Right, now I start moving it. See, I'm moving the camera now, and the picture on the screen is just starting to catch up with me. So there's quite a delay on it. Yeah, that's the top of the tripod. Yeah, I'd better not look at the picture at the moment. Hi, Todd. Oh, you're not in bed then. Any scent on that Genmani? Should be pretty nice if memory serves. Well, one way to find out is go and have a sniff. Oh, very, very faint. Very faint, but don't forget the light's not too good in here at the moment. Also, I've found that an awful lot of orchids are most fragrant AM rather than PM, apart from the night fragrant ones. Obviously, they wait till it gets dark. But there is a faint fragrance there. I wouldn't say it's strong. Bearing in mind the Cattleya Angel Heart up there, you can smell that from a metre away easily. That's strong. As is this one here, as is this one here, as is this one here. So the poor old Genmani wouldn't get much of a look in, would it? You've got a job to overpower things like twinkles and stuff with Soto-Anum in it. Right, what's going on the screen now? Melbourne and Sydney are on the same time. We both have daylight savings. Yeah, but what day is it? Actually now, while you're watching this, what day is it in Australia where you are, having gone past midnight? I want to know, because it's Saturday here, so are you now in Sunday, or have you just moved from Friday to Saturday? You know, that's something I don't know. Anyway, what else can we have a look at round here? Because I did actually do a quick video this morning of stuff that had just come out into bloom. Oh, we could have a look at some things. Oh, I don't know whether the camera's going to reach. That's the problem. Over in that corner there, that's my BC Mackay, and you should see spikes. I think there's either 4 or 5. The biggest one is up to the left top of the shot at the moment, which currently has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buds pushing on. And then there's another one sticking out right to the right, another one over the top behind that one, and another one right over by the glass. And I think there's a new one on one of the other growths somewhere. So that's going to have a lot more blooms than it did last year. I'm looking forward to that. That will be good. And other stuff with buds on, there's this Cattleya here. I'm not getting it down, but you can see a mass of buds in there, and that's got 4 sheaths with buds in currently. There's another one up here. So this is going to be quite a show. Whether they'll all come out at once or not, I really don't know. And I don't know whether I can, without knocking my Vanda flying. Oh, kick the bucket. That'd be good to do live, wouldn't it? Right at the back here is my Encyclia cordigera. You can see at least 1 spike there near the end of my finger. That's got 4 spikes on it. So that'll be its first time blooming for ages, on the grounds that I tried to kill it. It's quite a nice story actually. For me, I would say silliness at its best, because basically for some strange reason, when I potted that up, it's quite a few years ago now, Encyclia, for some strange reason I thought, oh, Oncidium Alliance, and potted it accordingly in small bark and moss. So it decided to object, dump all its roots, and faded. Over a year or so, it just faded, and I couldn't work out what was going wrong. I thought, well, it's got enough light, and I go racking my brains, and then the light bulb came on. The Cattleya Alliance. So it promptly got taken out of all the mucky, soggy roots, because there's virtually no roots left on it, potted up in some large chunky bark in a clay pot, and it took off like a rocket. And it's now rewarding me with spikes. So it's saying, thank you very much for finally potting me up correctly for the type of plant I am. I don't normally make mistakes like that. Let's go back here and have a look what's going on. Not a lot. As I say, if you do a live broadcast unannounced, the only people that are even going to know are those that have got notifications set that are not doing anything else, that, you know, like driving, or, you know, there's certain people who can't just stop what they're doing and join in with a live broadcast, which is why I always think if you're going to bother doing it, then tell people when it's going to be. And then those that can at least plan for it, which is what I usually do. Hi, I'm in South Korea. Lovely flowers. Blimey, that's a long way away. Oh, I've finally been told it's Sunday. Right, see, this is the sort of thing I mean. So it's already Sunday in Australia, whereas here it's Saturday afternoon. It's quite a difference. What else have we got? Do you still have your Dendrobium senile? Of course I do. Can't ever get rid of that. The only way that's ever going anywhere is if it turns its toes up and decides to be brown bread. I'm not sure I can get that down, but I will try. Oh! That's it. Bend your back and muck that up, won't you? Right, Dendrobium senile is here. It's currently doing autumn on its oldest canes, the larger ones, so it's dropping leaves. So it doesn't look at its best, but that's it this time of year. But it does have new growths pushing on, still, even though it's the middle of winter. And if you look carefully on that cane that's now vertical, that's a bud. And underneath the same cane are two more buds. And on the cane next to it, there's a bud. So we've currently got 4 buds. I suspect we might get a few more. They're going to take a while before they bloom, but yeah, I've got this one now. Although it's not quite growing correctly for seasons yet. Give it another season, and it will settle down, because it shouldn't be pushing out new growth now in the middle of winter, but it is. Hopefully next year that will settle into a nice regular pattern, and then the blooms on it will be more predictable. But it can sometimes take a while for an out-of-season plant to get back into regular seasons, growing at the right time and doing everything by the book. You know what I think about books, don't you? You've probably heard me say. Now, the delay is incredible, because I'm now pointing the camera at the Cymbidium, and yet on the screen I'm still talking about the Dendrobium senile. Oh, I'm glad I wasn't watching the screen. What's Todd saying? Soaking Vanders, doing clips. It's Roger Live, so we take a coffee break. You're always taking a coffee break. You're probably as bad as I am. Love the Vanda. Yeah. I stopped washing dishes. Not a problem at all. Yeah. Oh, I did mine earlier today. Yeah. First time this week, of course. I had a pile about a foot high. I like that tarantula orchid. Many do. Many do. Right, well, thanks for stopping what you were doing, Todd. I hope I'm not interrupting you doing something serious, like you've got a bucket full of flipping orchids that are going to sit there for half an hour. Right, it's here on the clock. It's now 13:30, which means this has been running more than 15 minutes without an interrupt, and that's with movement now. I think we're pretty safe. I think we're pretty safe. There's several things have changed since I last did this. I've changed internet suppliers. I now have a much more powerful hub and a much faster broadband, much faster. I'm not quite sure how this works, but the chances are that when you're live streaming, your normal broadband speed is probably irrelevant. It's your upload speed, which most people who know their broadband reasonably well know that their upload speed is normally abysmal, something about 8 meg, because you don't do it very often. You tend to download. That's what you use your internet for, to get stuff off, not put stuff on. Makes sense. But the upload speed on this new system I've got has gone from 8 meg to about 21, 22. So it's not far off 3 times more powerful. So hopefully we won't get any interrupts. I haven't got a clue what the sound's like. Nobody's mentioned an echo, so I presume we haven't got any echo. I'm sure I fixed that last time. You're on your phone, so you can multitask. The only way I can multitask is to put tech down and do non-tech stuff. Then I can multitask. I suppose, I don't know how close I can get. It's a shame, actually. I thought about this morning because it's starting to go. 2 blooms came off in the Angirola. So the purple Vanda is going to go, and at least 2 blooms fell off the orange one today as well. So the Vandas are starting to go. This is the spike that dropped the 2 blooms. You can see the fading. Yeah? They just go papery and almost transparent. So this spike is starting to go now, but this one opened quite a bit later, so we've still got some time with that one. And while we're waiting for the Vanda to completely go over, we might actually get a bud open on this flipping Laelia anceps. Talk about slow. And long as well. And as Laelia anceps Right, I suspect everybody's gone home or got on with other stuff, but I needed to find out what I would have to do should it stream up when I'm doing it for real. I know this seems like real, but basically what I've actually had to do was shut down the software, not YouTube, I just left that alone. Shut down the software, unplug the camera, plug the camera back into the laptop, put the software back on and click start streaming. Now that in the real world should not take more than about 30 seconds. So if my stream gets interrupted in future, in theory I can be back online in about 30 seconds. So I'm still haven't made my mind up whether I'm doing this for real tomorrow. By real I mean announced, because obviously I get worried that if I say I'm going to do something and people make arrangements to be there, I get upset if it then fails miserably. So yay, I'm back. Yeah, I know I'm back. This time I am. Okay, I'm back, but it's going to be for a very short space of time. I now know that if the stream freezes, what I can do to get it going again, but whether it has its original resilience by restarting it like that, I don't know. So for those of you that have dropped by, thanks. I know it was unannounced and everything, but you know, it's good to know there's some people around. And I'll say cheerio to now. I'll go away and get on my computer where I've got more control than the laptop and analyse what's gone on and work out whether I'm going to risk should we all fly over to you, Roger, for a real live chat? No, the house isn't big enough and I'd have to clean that as well then, as well as clean me up. Tea and biscuits for what, 8,000 subscribers. Yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Right, so there's people saying hello because they've just probably found this, and there's people saying cheerio because I've already said I'm off. So as I say, thanks for joining me. This was nothing more than an experiment. I've probably ended up with 3 or 4 videos which I will sort out with YouTube, and I won't keep them all. I'll probably keep the first one and this one, the last one. But thanks for joining a garden party. Yeah, sure, that would be better outside, wouldn't it? Yeah. That would be good. I haven't got any wires long enough to get the camera out there, though. Morning from Florida. So it's morning in Florida. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I have got other things to do. I just wanted to see if everything was hanging together. And it still looks like there's a problem with it freezing every now and again. But at least I know I can restart within about 30 seconds. But it won't be the same video. It will be another one. So that would be... Although, at the moment, it looks like it's a continuous set of chat. That I'll have to look at, but I'm going to close off for now, so thanks for joining in, and just being around. Hello from Hong Kong. Oh, blimey. That's where most of my tech comes from. Okay, thanks for joining in. I'm going to cut this off now, and maybe I will see you for the same sort of thing later tomorrow afternoon, but I'm going to have a think about that first and see where we are. All I've got to do is try and work out how to stop this. Nothing's ever easy, is it? I need another hand. Okay, bye for now. Thanks for joining in.